It's K975, real hip hop and R&B. It's this royalty, Big T, not the little one. And I got special guest CJ Monet in the building. How you doing?
I'm doing so well. How are you doing?
I am doing great. Can I just say you look so good?
Don't gas me up.
On,
Actually, don't
Fit.
stop.
Come on. Come on, Fit.
Thank you.
It is great to have you in here. First of all, big congratulations on the upcoming album.
Thank you.
Now, I have known you for a few years now, and you've been dropping music for years. Why did you feel like now was the time to drop your first album?
So it was kind of one of those happenstance things where I had wanted to work with live instrumentation, and kind of just happenstance led me to find Josh Emick in Greensboro. He's an amazing producer. And he was basically like, I would love to produce, like basically executive produce a live album for you. Wow. Like all live instrumentation. And so it was kind of one of those things where I was like, yeah, like what? Yeah,
let's do it.
Let's do it. So, yeah, I feel like I've sort of followed my gut in this whole process, and it felt like the right time. And so I'm just trusting that and hoping for the best. So.
And also, the name of this album is what got me. It is something that I feel like we can all relate to.
Indeed.
But it is Confessions of a People Pleaser. Why did you name that for the album?
So I named it that because I don't know about y'all's experience, but as a woman raised in the South in the church, there's so much like sort of indoctrination or teaching of you make other people happy at the expense of yourself. And so I feel like that sort of has just been ingrained into me in a way that I feel like it's something in my life that I needed to work on and work through to be able to really move forward, especially as an artist, because you can't really people please and be an effective artist because you have to have a vision that's yours. And so I was like, well, the one thing that I know is if I decide to put it in the music, like I'm forced to learn the lesson. And so I feel like it's relatable. It's not cute, really. No one's like, yay, I'm a people pleaser. You know what I'm saying? It's not like something like, oh, you know? So it sort of has like a little bit of shock value in that way, but at the same time, it's relatable.
Did you grow up singing in the church? Is that how you guys started?
So I didn't start singing until I got to college.
Wow.
Yeah, and I didn't even know. I was just a super shy kid, but I was always around music and I was in the church, but I wasn't in the choir or anything like that. Yeah, so... You know?
Wow, that's so different because usually when I hear like, oh yeah, I was in the church, you know, it's usually like, yeah, they had me in the youth choir, you know? No. So that's crazy.
I was not a joiner.
Okay.
I was like, I don't want to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so walk me through that then, because now I'm really curious. When you got to college, what was that moment where you were like, I'm going to do this. Not only am I going to do this, I'm going to perform this and then eventually make an album.
It was like a series of fortunate events, basically, that sort of like felt very orchestrated to lead me there. But basically, one of the events was my grandpa was like in the hospital, and my family's like sings. So Amazing Grace was his favorite song. My mom starts singing it. I like join in, and he was having these sort of like pain spasms, and he stopped having the pain spasm when I started singing like we were singing. And so I think in that moment, I kind of had a realization that my voice had power. And healing power, and that there's like an element of responsibility in that. So that was the first time I ever performed was at my grandpa's funeral, which is kind of insane.
Wow.
Yeah. And then ended up having a physics class. There was an artist who I was in a study group with. He like heard me kind of singing along to something and ended up asking me to get on a feature. And then from there, like once I'd done the feature, kind of just someone else heard it, and then, you know, kind of like a leap pad effect. And then it all just turned into, you know, what it is now. And I've tried to quit music like 2 times, and then things keep coming up and being like, no, like literally the excuses you're making, I'm going to give you solutions right here. And so like, I'm not a person to like keep denying things that keep coming towards me and at me and like for me. So that's kind of the long and short of it, I guess, you know?
That's such a powerful story, though.
Yeah.
That's really powerful.
Yeah.
Well, what phase of life would you say this album represents for you?
I feel like this album is very transitional. I'm 29 now, so like I feel like I'm transitioning from like 20s to 30s. And if you're in that age group, it is like such a transitional phase mentally, I feel like, where you're like, all right, like I'm young, but I'm not that young anymore.
Yeah.
It's like I've got to really buckle down and take things seriously. Like, what direction do I want my life to go? Like, how do I want to live my life? Like, what kind of person do I want to be and move into? Like, do I want to just not care how I treat people? Do I want to care? Do I want to, you know, what impact do I want to leave on the world in a real way? And like, So I feel like that's sort of the phase. I'm like at that like precipice of like moving in that direction. So I feel like this is really solidifying. Like I'm taking music very seriously. I'm buckling down and like I'm working on, multiple other projects as well. And so this is like my sort of reintroduction to the world in some way, I guess. Say like, yeah, like y'all have heard what I've put out and it was good, but like this is great. And what I'm working on in the future is great. And like, I'm ready for people to listen.
What do you feel like the listeners are going to learn about CJ in this album that they may not have learned before?
Lord, a lot of personal things about myself. You know what I'm saying? Really just because everything I write is like a story that I lived through or that I, something I've experienced in some way. And so they're literally going to learn stories about my life, like about my family, about my brother, about my mom, about my love life. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's not that cute. You know what I mean? But it's kind of like all the human things, but like how people pleasing sort of navigated or affected those things either positively or negatively and how I'm maneuvering through it.
Was there any song that's on the album that we're going to hear that was difficult for you to perform or to record, maybe because it was just so vulnerable?
Yeah. There's kind of two like that. There's one, so the one I released last Friday called Face the Music. Mm-hmm. That one is very vulnerable because basically the whole song is just me saying every single insecurity I have about myself.
Wow.
And with choir in the background. My good friend Jordan Lee, or Leeville, did the background vocals, arranged that, and we recorded them together. And so it was such like and we were both kind of going through something at the time we did it. So we really put that into the vocals themselves. So that one is definitely like very emotional. And then there's an interlude as well that's in honor of my niece who's passed. And so I don't sing on that. Thank you. I don't sing on that one. But it is like a strings overture. And then there's like some voices from my niece and my brother and my sister-in-law. And so that one's emotional. I won't like perform that one because I don't play violin, babe. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, but yeah, those are both super vulnerable, kind of emotional songs for me as far as performing.
You spoke a lot about the live instrument elements to this album, and I just want to say, first of all, I love that, okay? In an age of technology and AI, we appreciate live instruments in here, okay? Okay. How do you feel like that really brought out the message that you're trying to send in this piece?
You can craft a sound with live instruments. It's not a beat that has, and like this is no shade because there's no problem with if that's what you want to use, no problem.
Shade. No tea,
no shade. But you can craft, like Josh Emick, the producer of this project, he did a great job of really like crafting a sound that it is R&B, but it's also very Carolina. It's very true to my roots. Yeah. It has elements of church without being directly church. It has elements of like neo soul. It has elements of a little bit of like pop or alt even in some of the songs. And so I think the live instruments just give you the freedom to like truly follow the emotion with the instruments rather than trying to match the music with your voice.
I like that.
You can construct the music around the voice rather than the other way around.
I really like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
Thanks.
I do want to ask a more personal question, though, and sorry to be putting out your government like this.
That's okay.
CJ versus Carly, is there a difference? And if so, what is the difference?
The difference is, I feel like Carly is now people who I know in my personal life. I tell them more so to call me by Carly. CJ is, like, Carly is what my mama calls me.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
CJ is what I've introduced myself, especially in, like, more public or, like, work settings. And there is an element of, like, as a shy person who's anxious, like, it provides a bit of a barrier almost. And it, obviously it doesn't. It's just a name, but I feel like there is power in a name. Mm-hmm. And interestingly, I feel like I went by only CJ for like a good couple years, and then now I've sort of returned back to introducing myself as Carly, except when I'm in public, like, like more professional settings. So, yeah, I don't know.
Well, what did Carly learn about herself in the process of making this album for CJ?
Carly learned that Carly's hard-headed. Yeah, like there's one line at the final song that's like, I'm way too hard-headed. I know that I've reincarnated before. Because I'm the kind of person, like, I have to learn my lesson firsthand. And I know that I have several best friends who are irritated with me at times because they'll be like, that's not a good idea. And I'm like, I know, but it could work out different for me, Did it? No. I was wrong. But like, I think for me, like I, for some reason, have this need to learn things firsthand. And so the good thing about that is then when I learn these things firsthand, I can write these songs about them. But the bad part is, could have saved myself some trouble, saved myself some time, but we didn't. So here we are.
I mean, hey, they say experience is the best teacher. How do you know if you don't try?
Well, I was a student, Lord.
I love that. I was definitely a student. Is there anybody or anything that went into this album that really pushed you creatively?
Live instrumentation,
okay,
and recording that way, it's such a different way of recording, because everything is like loose is a bad way of saying it, but it's not like I just have the track and I'm recording and I know exactly at this point it's going to switch to a chorus. It becomes a lot more intuitive and it becomes a lot more collaborative because you're sort of having to feed off the energy of the people around you and the instrumentation. And I think at first that was really scary, but that freedom behind that, where I can be like, I do a riff or a run, right? And then the keyboard player matches it on the keyboard. It becomes this conversation musically. And yeah, so it was challenging, but because of that, I learned so much. And I feel like I really understand my voice better. I understand music in general better and how to write better melodies because I was around amazing instrumentalists and musicians. And so, yeah, that's what I would say.
Bringing real music back. That's what I'm hearing.
Bring it back.
Bringing real music back. All right. Now, you are getting so much love right now. Album hasn't even dropped yet. It's about to drop. And even prior to you announcing that you're about to drop your first album, you get so much love from the community. I'm seeing it on a regular basis. How has that motivated you through this process?
It motivates me in a huge way because I'm like, if people see that in me, I have a responsibility to also see that in me and act on that myself, and take that seriously and give people an amazing piece of art, an amazing product that says here, you believe in me. Let me give you even more reason to believe in me and even more reason to buy in and see, the vision of where I'm going. And so I think I sort of take it as motivation to really flesh these things out. So this time around I'm doing CDs and vinyl because I've had people ask, but I was like, people aren't gonna really buy them, da-da-da-da-da. And it's no, I'm putting my resources and my time and my effort, where my mouth is now and where I think people perceive me to be at. Faders tells me all the time, he's you know who you are, you're you, so.
Okay, you are.
Yeah.
You know this.
Yeah.
Well, after we finish listening to this album, so excited for it, what do you want us to leave feeling? And I know everybody gonna get something different out of it, right? You can make the same song and 10 people can hear it. They all gonna get a different message. But what is it that you are hoping we get from it?
I just hope you get in touch with a piece of your humanity and feel seen. I think, for me, it's I write this for me, but I also write it for other people to feel like I can be vulnerable. I have permission to be vulnerable. It's scary to be vulnerable, but I think that there's so much freedom and power in being vulnerable. And that truthfully, information that people have about you personally only has power against you if you allow it to be that.
Oh, that's good.
And if I know who I am and I know my flaws and I'm literally telling them to you, so you can tell me my flaws, but I know.
You can't clog my teeth.
You can't clog my teeth.
Okay.
You can, but I kind of know the tea's already hot. Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think just take away there's some healing, there's some sad, grieve, feel all the things. It's okay to be the whole range of human emotions. It's okay to be happy and then sad. And the duality of the human experience is you're often really sad and really happy at the same time when things happen. And that's okay and that's real. Don't compartmentalize that. Feel it, allow it to pass. That's part of the experience, And so I think that's what I want people to take away.
Oh, that is so good. That is so good.
Thanks.
Listen, before we wrap this up, is there anything else you want to leave us with before we listen to this project?
Bet on yourself. Believe in yourself. And what else do I want to leave people with in this project? I think be gentle with yourself. I think give yourself grace. I think I'm somebody who, especially people who have like big dreams and big goals, it's like it's really easy to be really hard on yourself. But I think often that's the thing that ends up holding you back because you overthink doing the things you want to do, or you overthink, like don't sell yourself short, like if you believe in it and you feel like it's the right thing to do it. And if it doesn't work out, like whoop-dee-doo, whoop-dee-doo. But I think oftentimes if you're being pushed to do it, that's your calling. So don't question your calling.
Okay, CJ coming through. You giving us a new album and a word. I love it. We got a nice little 2-in-1 right here.
Yes.
Please let them know where they can follow you. And of course, where they can check out the album.
Okay, so you can follow me at cj.monet. That's my Instagram. On TikTok, I'm at CJ Monet Art. And then as far as where you can find the album, it will be on all streaming platforms on Friday. But I'm also going to have some CDs, vinyl pre-order. And I'm having a listening party on Thursday. If you check out my Instagram, there's a sign-up link in the bio. So yeah, there's limited spots. So if you want to come, go ahead and sign up. It's going to be dope. My mama's making pound cake.
Ooh.
Okay. And that girl can bake.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, Mom, I need a good old pound cake for the listening party. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it'll be a good old family gathering. We'll listen to some music together. And yeah, that's all I got.
And eat some pound cake.
Okay.
Look, you heard it here first. CJ Monet, Confessions of a People Pleaser, dropping this Friday, all right? Make sure you check that out. You heard it here first. It is K975.